And we are live. A very warm welcome to a very, very special episode that we have lined up for you guys today. We're going to be talking about sourcing in a very dynamic, emerging country called Türkiye. And we've got some very special guests waiting backstage. They're going to be talking about how you can find suppliers in Türkiye, what kind of products you can source, how to manage QC, payments, logistics, and a lot more. We've got a whole masterclass lined up for you guys. And we're also going to be talking about our upcoming Türkiye sourcing trip. So stay until the end of our live stream over here to get more information about this very, very exciting, first of its kind, very unique sourcing trip. Hi, Mark. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks, Megla.
It's very early morning for you, or like late night, like 3 a.m., right?
3 a.m. I'm in Australia, so it's 3 a.m. in the morning over here. Yeah.
And Kevin is not going to be joining us today, so we just got M&M, no MMK.
It's a bit early
Cool.
for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, as we're going through the presentations and everything, feel free to post your questions in the comments wherever you're watching from. Our experts are also going to be answering any questions that you might have. So if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching, post the comments, post your questions in the comments. Our replay is also going to be sent out by email to everybody. So in case you have to leave or, you can come back to it, or you can also find the replay on YouTube on our India Sourcing Network channel. All right, so let me invite our guests on stage. So 1, 2, and 3. So we've got Crystal, Zainab, and Furkan. Welcome, guys. How are you doing today?
Oh, hey, good. Hi. Hey, everyone.
Hi, Megla. Hi, Margaret.
How are you?
Very good.
Great.
So let me get started by introducing myself. I don't want to make you work a lot, Megla, tonight. So, hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this live session. I guess this is kind of like a surprise, Megla, for the audience that are attending tonight, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, what is this Türkiye sourcing trip? Why does everyone here work for this company? So I certainly want to tell you a little bit more, everyone. So welcome. My name is Crystal. I'm the Business Development Manager for Amazon Sellers Society. We support sellers that sell on Amazon in the Middle East, including Türkiye. Zainab, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Zainab. I'm the office manager here for Amazon Sellers Society based in Turkey. And basically, I manage all operations. And we're very excited for the news that we'll be sharing at the end of the webinar. So stay tuned.
Furkan, go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Furkan, founder of Imbuko Consulting. We are a company located in Turkey, and today I will be talking about sourcing in Turkey very deeply, I assume. Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Which country are you from? Just let us know in the comments so that we also get an idea of, who's where. It's always interesting to see all the locations of people. And we also want to, just kind of share that we have come together. All of us over here on screen have come together to bring you this Türkiye sourcing trip and also sourcing in Turkey, because as you guys know that, Margaret, Kevin, and myself, we do trips to India, to Vietnam. We do a lot of sourcing in India and Vietnam. And Turkey is a very new, emerging, and very dynamic kind of destination. So we've partnered with Crystal, with Amazon Seller Society and her team in Turkey to bring you this Türkiye sourcing trip and also sourcing in Turkey. So we've sort of merged our forces together, our skills, and we're bringing this awesome trip to you. So let's get started. I'm going to share screen. The first thing that we're going to do is talk about sourcing in Turkey, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Crystal, to take it from here.
Thank you so much, Megla. So again, welcome everyone. So we've got Joy of Life, who is a Turkish citizen watching from Saudi Arabia. Welcome, Annette from Germany, lots of different places, UAE, of course, where I am at, and Annette from Germany as well. So please let us know where you are from, and let us know if you've ever considered sourcing products from Turkey. Let us give you a little bit of a background, and I'm sure Megla and Margaret will dive a little bit deeper into this. However, when Amazon Sellers Society partnered with Umbuko and opened our offices in Turkey, what we wanted to do was to support sellers to sell on Amazon in Turkey. But what we realized is there was a lot of people that wanted to source products from Turkey to sell on all of the marketplaces. Our specialty is Amazon, of course, but as you know, you can sell on Amazon, on any marketplace as well. But there was a lot of demand. And that's when we started working and supporting sellers with sourcing from Turkey. But what we wanted to do was to create a sort of trip where you would get much more in-depth information and a little bit more information about how you can source from Turkey. And that's where the queens of sourcing trips, Margaret and Megla, were very gracious to partner with us, but they're going to tell you a little bit more about this. So let's talk about sourcing from Turkey. Who here knows that actually Turkey is known as China of Europe? Not really a fantastic, obviously Turkey is a wonderful country, maybe a little bit odd, but when it comes to manufacturing, it is considered the China of Europe for multiple reasons. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. So can someone just change, who's controlling the slides? Is it you, Megla? Perfect. Thank you. So sourcing from Turkey opens doors to quality and craftsmanship that ensures good business. I'm sure if you've ever traveled to Turkey, you know that, or maybe you haven't even traveled, if you've ever bought beautiful Turkish cotton sheets or beautiful Turkish towels, so many other products, you know that Turkey is renowned for its high quality manufacturing, particularly when it comes to textiles, home goods, and even, believe it or not, electronics. We're going to be talking about everything that can be manufactured in Turkey tonight. The country's robust industrial base ensures that products meet international standards. Hence, lots of different, very renowned brands are currently manufacturing in Turkey. And it's very appealing. The brand made in Turkey is actually very appealing for customers that purchase online and especially on Amazon. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as we talked about, very high quality production. Also, if we go through some of the details that you find on the slide, there is a lot of competitive pricing when it comes to Turkey based or compared to Western Europe. Turkey offers very competitive pricing without compromising quality, which is obviously something all sellers, be it on Amazon or otherwise, strive for. However, for Amazon sellers, we need to achieve better profit margins while offering products that stand out. And just by simply telling your customers online that a product is made in Turkey, that just gives a sign that they can get both high quality products at an affordable price. Turkey also has an incredibly strategic location. We all know it bridges Europe and Asia. So it offers significant logistical advantages for anyone here that is based in the Middle East and wants to sell their goods on Amazon or any platform in the Middle East. Certainly, Turkey is a great location strategically for you to manufacture your products and ship them to the markets here. But also, of course, in Europe, Turkey has extremely well-established trade routes, which Furkan will be telling us a little bit more of later on, and access to major markets that ensure efficiency and cost-effective shipping. A very diverse product range, just giving you a little bit of a heads up. This is what we're going to be discussing in a little bit. Whether you're looking for textiles, furniture, electronics, handmade goods, really Turkey offers everything. There are a few things that you shouldn't be considering manufacturing in Turkey, and we're going to tell you what those are. But there are a long list of things that can be manufactured in Turkey. You can source unique, which is obviously a very important thing, and niche products that can differentiate your products, specifically if you are selling on Amazon, which is full of competition, or anywhere online these days. You need to find unique products which you can differentiate. Now, of course, Turkey has really strong trade relationships, specifically in Europe and the Middle East, and this can simplify import processes and potentially much lower tariffs and easy trade barriers. Again, we're going to go into this in more details with Furkan. I'm not sure if any of you know this. Let me know if you do or if this is new information. But actually, Turkey supports, the government of Turkey supports exporters a lot. The Turkish government provides various incentives and support programs for exporters, and that can translate into cost savings for businesses like us who are sourcing from Turkey. So this is just a quick example of why you should consider sourcing in Turkey, and I'll let Zainab take it from here.
Thank you so much, Crystal. And again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar. As we dive through our webinar today, we wanted or prepared a list of the products. What can you source from Turkey? What are the top industries? What should you look for? What to consider? And what we have done basically is that we have organize this based on the volume of exports and production. Did you know that the leather category is the highest and the most exported category of products from Turkey? And then, can you make a guess what comes second? That will be automotive, with over 200 exports of 200 countries. So it's a sector that plays a pillar in the industrial sector in Turkey. Then you can find olive oil, olives. Yes, we are well known. Some of you will say, yeah, I thought Italians olive oil would export more, but guys, yeah, you got it all wrong. Also, Turkish oil is amazing and well known, being exported to more than 120 countries. And it's known for the high quality production, and it caters to a global demand. So if you're looking to source anything like that, then Turkey could be your next destination. Then also, just like the Iranian carpet is famous, the Turkish carpet is, and it's being exported currently to more than 181 countries. And what's known is that it has a strong global presence, and also it has a substantial product, and it's always on the go. You know, you can get your products, ongoing production of your carpets, and very smoothly. Then we have ceramics as the fifth category, and the sixth would be dried fruits and nuts. Well, sometimes I would say, who would, source dried nuts? But believe it or not, also, this is a very common category along with Turkish spices. Here, we have also prepared this slide for you. So if we are to elaborate on these categories, and if we are to talk about the e-commerce sellers and their requirements, we have put these categories in order for you. So the first and most common one would be the textiles and apparel, as most of the e-commerce sellers are familiar with. So as you know, Turkey is well known for the quality of its textile, whether it's for home textile or also when it comes to clothes or hats. And it is a leader in the sector. I would like to give you a small note. Try to look for opportunity in both mass market and also luxury segments. So this will be a good common practice or best practice if you are to source or if you are to target also a niche for your textile and apparels. Then we have the footwear and leather goods. Now here, of course, Turkey is a top producer of this category, but what we would advise is that don't only focus on shoes, but you can consider leather hats, you can consider belts, leather accessories. So not only that they are profitable in size, but small, quick to squeeze in, you can have many units in one box, but also they're something good to sell. The next category would be food and spices. So since our agriculture in Turkey, as you guys know, produces a diverse array of spices and products, So you can leverage our reputations for having a healthy, organic, and these would be good things to promote your products. Then in terms of furniture and home decoration, as you know, you can have, let's say, glass home decorations, vases, tableaus, or you can have like different items in this category. What you need to look out for is that you should explore all your options with different suppliers, get different quotations, consider if the product could be breakable or not, so that you don't face anything or any complications during logistics. Cosmetics, well, yeah, cosmetics is also something that's very famous in Turkey. Are you a fan of having skincare, facial serums? Then cosmetics could be sourced from Turkey as well. So maybe you could focus here on the organic niche, on natural cosmetics, which are also increasing in demand at the global level. The next category would be ceramics and glassware. And who doesn't know the tiles of Turkey and how beautiful it is, with the tulips. So here, if you are sourcing, maybe you can focus on artisanal items, handicrafts that could appeal to markets and luxury segments as well. And last but not least, even though this might not be a common product to sell on Amazon or like online, but you could also source automotive parts and components from Turkey. So did you have any questions? I hope you find this list of products useful or these categories useful. Let us know if you're selling under any of these categories or you're interested to explore more categories. And now I'll leave it over to Furkan to discuss how to vet a supplier, best practices for quality checks, and sourcing from Turkey.
Yeah, thank you, Zeynep. First of all, let's start how to find a supplier in Turkey. It's like in China, there is also local websites, and also there is Turkish Alibaba as a website to find a supplier in Turkey, but I would say that it's not as effective as finding supplier in China through Alibaba. So just using like websites to find supplier would not please you, I guess. So in addition to that, you might conduct a basic Google check, what kind of a product you want, and with the keywords, etc. It will work, and you will be able to find a good list of products in Turkey. In addition to that, there are many trade shows in Turkey. If you are able to come and join one of them, so you will meet a lot of suppliers. A lot of suppliers for nearly all categories in Turkey. And finally, you can also use sourcing agents to find suppliers, which is the best practice. So meeting the suppliers, connecting to suppliers with a local person, with a local company would benefit you in many cases. In addition to that, I guess most of the people don't know or don't use it. So there are trade attaches for every country. For example, you are in Germany and you want to source product in Turkey, so you can contact your German trade attaché in Turkey by saying that I want to import textile products from Turkey, so please provide me a list of textile producers. And they will send a list of textile producers in Turkey within their database. It's very important and effective way to reach the suppliers in Turkey. And then after you find a couple of suppliers, so let's come to how we eliminate them. What categories? What lines we should check when we find a supplier. First of all, let's say you find 3 suppliers of textile producers and you want to choose among them. First, as a first step, you need to check that if you are able to import that supplier's products to your target market. If your target market, let's say, for instance, it's Germany, and you want to import towel from Turkey to Germany, and you need to check if Germany requires special licenses or document or quality checks for that product. And then you need to check that requirements with the producer, with the manufacturer, if that supplier will be able to provide you all necessary documents. If not, because in any case, even if the price is so low, you find everything you need, but if you cannot import that product to your country, rest is not important. Secondly, you need to check, you need to compare the price and quality. There should be a balance between price and quality, because everyone wants to make a profit and get customer satisfaction. So in order to make profit, we need to find low-cost products, and in order to make our customers happy, we need to find quality products. So price and quality balance is very important for that. And after that, production time is very important for the sourcing steps. Some manufacturers might be too busy with other projects, with other requests, or some of them will not meet your range of time. So you need to check before go any further about the production time, if it fits your needs or not. After that, the payment terms. You need to also check how the manufacturer expects the payment. For example, if they want 100% in advance or 50% in advance, rest when the goods arrive, or etc. So you need to check and make sure the payment terms is as you wish and as you can handle it. And also you need to check how they require the payment. It's like a wire transfer or some kind of other type of transfer. So it needs to be the payment term should be the way you want, so that you can easily continue with the sourcing process. Afterwards, the MOQ. In Turkey especially, MOQs are I would say not as low as China, but it's for like a private label products. If you want to get a private label product in Turkey, MOQs are not as low as China, but not like double or triple or something. It's a little bit higher than that. But if you are buying from directly their stock, it's no minimum order quantity, I would say. And then you need to make sure that after sales is also, they will be helping you, the manufacturer will be helping you after you got the product. So when you get your products and start selling, and you encounter with problems with your products, so when you have a problem, you will be able to solve that problem with the manufacturer. You need to find a person who answers your question, who can deal with your problems. If necessary, they can make like changes, additions, etc. So after sales is another important step for choosing the right supplier. And then packaging. When you get bulk products and you import that to your target markets, most of the times you need to take them to a warehouse or a fulfillment center and make them ready for sale, which means that you get like 1,000 units, and piece by piece you need to separate them. Maybe you need to make a special packaging for the customers, etc. And you also need to check that with the manufacturer if they can provide the packaging in advance for you. If it happens, it will make your cost really, really low, and it will save you a lot of time and hassle. And after that, the product visuals and like videos. So if the manufacturer can provide you high quality visuals and videos and something like that, it will also save you time and cost. So when you get the product, you will not need to go a service provider for the photo shooting or something else. Maybe directly from the manufacturer, you can get all in place. So when you get the products, you can directly start selling, and it will really lower your cost and save your time. And then let's talk about the geographical location and logistics in Turkey. Turkey is Turkey. One of the most famous thing about Turkey is the geographical location. It's the in the let's say it's in the middle of the world. It's in the middle of the west and the east. So when it comes to logistic and transportation times, it's quite less compared to China. Here I showed you a couple of destinations and the flight types most commonly used. For example, from Turkey to Germany, generally people use the road freight for the transporting the goods, and it approximately takes like 8 to 12 days. And the UK and United States and UAE, most of the times they use sea freight because it's very cheap. It may take some time, but when you compare the price, you would like to wait for the container to come to you. So, in addition to that, one of the biggest advantage of Turkey when it comes to Europe, Turkey is not in European Union, but Turkey is in the EU Customs Union, which enables that Turkish goods can be exported to EU member states without paying any custom duties. So it will lower the custom clearance cost. And in addition to that, in order to be in the EU Customs Union, Turkey Turkey need to make some arrangements for its own products and its own quality standards, let's say. So every one of you, I guess, know the CE marking. When a product should enter the EU and produce there, etc. So it needs to have a CE marking. And in Turkey, there is another type of quality standard for that. It's called TSE. It's the same with CE marking, but Turkish governments create that for the Turkish exporter. I mean, before getting the CE marking, they need to get that local quality standard, which is nearly identical to CE marking requirements. When EU is making any update for CE marking requirements, Turkish government make the same update for that local regulation. So it means that if a product, if a, let's put it that way, if a manufacturer can export a good from Europe, export a good from Turkey to Europe, it means that that manufacturer fulfill all necessary needs to, all necessary requirements to that EU applies. And also, another benefits to be in EU custom union, goods can transfer freely. So you don't need to provide, I mean, the manufacturer in Turkey should not need to provide a lot of documents to make custom clearance. There are simple documents to move the goods from Turkey to Europe, in contrast to other countries, I would say. And then next slide, please. And then let's come to the quality control. As I mentioned before, one of the perks being in the EU Customs Union, Turkish government have to make their product quality their product quality is minimum requirement as EU that EU applies. So before EU requirements, there is Turkish government requirements, which is nearly identical like the EU requirements. So Turkish manufacturers is always ready for the exporting goods to especially Europe, and when a good is enough good to move to Europe, so it means that you can import that good to any other country in the world. I would say that. So that's all the things I guess I have to say about this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So that was really good information, guys. And I mean, I went to Turkey earlier this year and I was so surprised to see the wide variety of products that are available over there. Like, I had no idea before I went there that there were so many products and such high quality, like all of the, the garments, baby products, and even toys, and especially cosmetics. Like, I was really, really impressed by all of the different types of cosmetics, skincare items, and how easy suppliers had made it to private label these products. I think I was really impressed by that. Like, they had all of these bottles that, okay, you can choose whichever bottle you want, you can choose the type of labels that you want, and the MOQs were not that high, I mean, compared to, China, for example. And it was very easy to do. The packaging was all set up. So it was almost like they are, ready to cater to the world. And of course, they understand all of the certifications for Europe. So that was really important as well. And as Furkan said, if a supplier can supply products to Europe, they can basically sell in any market. They can meet any certifications. So that is absolutely amazing. And we've got lots of comments in the, lots of questions and some comments as well in the comment section here. But guys, we're going to keep going over here. We're going to be talking about our Türkiye sourcing trip. We're so excited about this. And we are going to take your questions. We've also got a lot of questions from people who registered for the webinar. Over 250 people registered for this live stream. And so if you have any questions, type them in the comments and we will be taking questions at the end of the webinar. So stick around we will address all of your questions. I see a lot of questions from Tony Brown as well. Tony, I see all your questions. We are going to come to that. Michelle, yeah, Joy of Life. All of you guys stick around. We are going to be coming to your questions as well. Let's quickly talk about Türkiye sourcing trip. We almost need like a drum roll over here. Cool. So after our very successful India sourcing trip and Vietnam sourcing trip, we are so excited to launch our brand new Türkiye sourcing trip. And the very first trip is going to be in November. So the dates are 20th to the 24th of November, 2024. So guys, please take note of these dates, add them to your calendar, block your calendar, because these are very, very important dates. And we're going to be talking about the importance of attending a sourcing trip, and we'll also talk about the itinerary of this specific trip. But one of the biggest advantages of attending any trip or going to the country where you're sourcing from is that you can get the best prices, you can see the best products, and you can meet the best suppliers. And you can build relationships with the suppliers over there so that you can get better prices, better terms, and it's just a better sourcing experience. So whether you're sourcing from China, India, Vietnam, Turkey, anywhere, I would always recommend visiting the place, visiting trade shows and visiting factories as well. All right, so let's talk about Turkey sourcing trip and what our itinerary is going to be and what's going to be included. So Mark, can you go over the itinerary of the sourcing trip?
Certainly, Megala, thank you very much. Yes, look, our trips are all inclusive, just to say something to start. So it's not that you get there and you've got to start paying for things. So from the minute you arrive at the hotel on the first day of the trip until you leave on the last, you basically, all your food, everything is included in the cost. So there's not any add-ons unless you want to party all night. Which is, another add-on. But other than that, it's fine. So look, we do pre-trip support, so help with visas, flight bookings, sourcing insights, anything that you need to know about the country you're going to, how it works. We usually try and cover most of those things. Pre-trip webinars, we do live calls going over what to pack, what to do, everything that you'll need to know about, preparing for the trip and how it will work whilst you're on the trip. So on the November the 20th, which is the first day, which is, I think, a Wednesday, that is arrival day in Istanbul. So you'll just arrive at the hotel, have time to sort of ground yourself. You can go off and do something if you want that day, a bit of shopping, and then we have a welcome dinner that evening. On the 21st, we actually attend an export-focused private label networking event, which showcases a lot of Turkey-made products, and you will get guidance and meet sourcing experts, and there'll be translators there as well, and a lot of information sessions during the day at that session as well. So you'll get time to actually meet some actual suppliers there, speak to them, and actually I think that makes a relationship. We know from going to other countries, actually going and meeting the supplier, speaking to them face to face. Then when you want to place an order, you won't get ignored because you can, sort of have a photo. Oh, I met you on this day. If you just email someone randomly, I want to buy 200 of these, where you're going to go on the line of emails probably at the bottom and never get seen again. So I think going and meeting the person at the fair and speaking to them is the best way to actually build that relationship to start with. Then on the 22nd, we're going to have a networking event. We're also going to do some factory visits. Now, the factories will be mainly the most popular products, but if people coming on the trip, we ask you when you sign up what your products are you looking for, and we try and tailor the trip to certain products. So we will make sure that not every product will be able to be, can't do every factory, but the majority of what is needed, we will be trying to cover those factories. So you actually get to see the products that you're looking for, being sort of manufactured in the factory. Oh, thank you. Make the screen bigger. So then we will... on the 20th, so that's the 22nd. On the 23rd, we'll visit factories once again, and then we'll also do some wholesale markets, which was sort of a similar concept. If people know what Yiwu is in China, it's a very similar concept where we will go to different markets and you can actually buy goods there and order them on the spot, and they'll be packed ready to ship. So that's a really good way of getting started if you want to just start off smaller and have something ready to go. Visiting the wholesale markets is great. And on the 24th, actually on the 23rd, we haven't got it there, but we've got a special surprise dinner, which we won't divulge as yet, but it's a really great evening organised for our last evening dinner. And on the 24th, we'll be doing more sightseeing for people that day, and then that will be the end of the trip. You can either then stay on if you want to. We can help you to extend the hotel stay if you wanted to stay on, but the 24th morning would be check out at lunchtime on that day. Then after that, when we come back, we'll be doing pre-trip webinar, post-trip webinars. So you can, ask the sourcing experts questions about your products. You can get help with placing orders, quality control, anything like that you need help with, we'll be able to advise you. And there's also support. So, if you've found a supplier and you need some help, we can help you with those things like doing your orders, the shipping, quality control, and how it all works. So I think it's something that is really good. So get those dates in your calendars, people. The 24th is the final day. The 20th is the first date.
Cool, awesome. And thank you so much for that, Mark. So what's included in the trip? As Mark said, this is an all-inclusive trip. So all you need to do is arrive at the hotel in Istanbul that, we booked the hotel for you. It's a very premium hotel. So you need to just arrive at the hotel. And from there, then on, everything is covered, including your food, transportation, the visit to the trade show, visit to factories. We're going to be pre-vetting all of these factories. They are in Istanbul, and they're all export-focused factories. The trade show that we will be visiting, Michelle is asking about, what is the name of the trade show? So the trade show is called Prive Expo, and we'll share information about that as well. But this is more of a networking event where there are a lot of private label manufacturers that are going to be showcasing their services and also their products. It's not like a full-blown trade show like, maybe Canton Fair or the trade show that we visit in India, but it's more of a networking event where there will be about a couple of hundred manufacturers in different categories, and you'll be able to talk to them, understand how they can private label products, and they will have some products on display as well. So it's a very unique concept. And the good thing is that all of the exhibitors at the trade show are export focused. That's very important because our entire trip is really to help you, export products from Turkey. So all the manufacturers are capable of exports, and they manufacture products according to specifications and requirements of Europe and the US, etc. So this is what's included in the trip. What I also want to do is quickly share my screen and just take you to the website. So the website is turkeysourcingtrip.com, not turkeysourcingtrip.com, just to clarify that a little bit. So it's turkeysourcingtrip.com. Okay, so once you're on the website, you can actually already sign up. There's a reserve your seat button over here. So you can click on this button. It will open up a new page. The cost of this trip is $2,499 US, and you can pay in 2 installments. And this is an all-inclusive cost. That includes the hotel, transportation, everything, whatever we just mentioned over here. So once you go to the website, let me just see, is the website visible? Okay, yes, it is. Cool. So once you go to the website, there's information about why you should source in Turkey. A lot of this was covered by Furkan just now. Some of the key categories that you can source in Turkey as well. These are some pictures that I took myself when I went to this trade show recently in Istanbul. And I mean, these are the products that I saw firsthand. The towels, I was so amazed to see these Turkish towels. Like, guys, I have not seen such towels anywhere in the world. And I've been, traveling to China, Vietnam, and so many different countries for so many years. But Turkish towels are just like a cut above the rest. So you can take a look at all of the products over here. These are some case studies that Zainab and Furkan were kind enough to share with us. And, people are actually saving money and time when sourcing in Turkey, especially if you're sourcing for Europe. Because as Furkan showed the map, I mean, look at the times, the delivery times are so much shorter when you're shipping from Turkey as compared to China. Road transportation, like within a week to 10 days. That's impossible if you're sourcing from China. So with that itself, you're able to save so much time and money, with your shipping costs. So this company over here is a UAE-based e-commerce retailer, and they were basically sourcing textiles. And they were able to see a 30% reduction in their production costs and a 20% faster turnaround time compared to sourcing from China. So, there are pros and cons of each country, and we never really say that don't source from China or don't source from this country or that country. Each country has its own advantages. So go to that country specifically for the advantages that that country offers. Certain products are only manufactured in China. You cannot go and source them in other countries. So for those products, you have to go to China. But Turkey has its own specialties. So come to Turkey for the products that Turkey specializes in. Another company over here, and this is also another good advantage of sourcing in Turkey, that you can sell into the domestic market as well. The e-commerce market in Turkey is growing significantly. So that's another opportunity for you. You can export and you can also supply in the domestic market. And then over here, another American e-commerce retailer, their profits were up 30%. Their overall market share was up 10%. And they were basically sourcing merino wool products, which is, again, a very unique item that is only available in certain countries, and it's very cost effective in Turkey. All right, so then you can get more information about the sourcing trip over here, what's included. The itinerary is also mentioned on the trip. So Mark just went over this itinerary over here. Okay, so this is the trade show that we're going to be visiting. It's called Prive Expo, or Prive Expo, I guess. That's how it's pronounced. And so this is basically focused on finding private label products. And there are going to be a couple of hundred private label manufacturers over here. And you can talk to them, understand their services, and you can even place orders then and there, or you can at least, get their contacts and then contact them later on. We're also going to be planning factory visits in Istanbul. And I'm going to ask Furkan over here, actually. Furkan, what kind of products are really manufactured in and around Istanbul, and what kind of factories can people expect to visit during the trip?
Yeah, actually, Istanbul is the area of manufacturers a lot. So I would say that home decoration is very important in Istanbul. textile again, Istanbul and Bursa and those areas, and also like you can consider cosmetics to find in Istanbul, and also you can consider like toys or kindergarten stuff and so on. Yeah.
Right. So there are a lot of different industries that are established, very well established in Istanbul. So, if you guys have any specific requirements, we can also, organize factory tours for you individually. Let's say, you want to do cosmetics and none of the other people in the group want to do cosmetics. Let's say just as an example, we can arrange, individual trips for you as well. And we can help you, visit those factories too. Furkan, talking about the wholesale markets that we might visit, what kind of products can people expect to see over there?
Yeah, again, there are textile wholesale markets. So when you enter that area, you will meet a lot of manufacturers. They got a shop there and they are selling their already produced items. And when you go there, you can see the quality, you can see the different types of products, and you can directly check the product, and maybe you can make an arrangement for the future. And also there are places for home decoration. It's the same manufacturers, they have shops there. When you go there, and you will see many kind of stuffs, and you can directly buy from there, or also you can make again arrangements for the future for private label or other stuff. So there are many markets. When you go there, you will directly see the manufacturer itself with their displays and everything.
And here
and
also
all of these products
yeah.
Go ahead, Zainab, go ahead.
There was this amazing wholesale market with baby sets. Like, it was so cheap and the quality was so good. I was like, oh my God, okay, I think I'm just gonna order, because I like the quality, I like the set. It's so cost price effective. So yeah, there are a lot of great wholesale markets, baby products, home textile, like Furkan was saying, clothes, hats, leather accessories. So depending on the area in Istanbul, you can find different wholesale markets.
Right, absolutely. And so all of the products at these wholesale markets are ready for export, right? They're good enough for export. So you can buy the products over there, and they can also arrange the logistics for you. So, and you can buy small quantities, right? I think that's the biggest advantage of going to these wholesale markets. Like if you're doing private label, maybe your order quantities are higher. But if you go to these wholesale markets, it's a good opportunity to test certain products. And then if they are successful, you can come back and source, in higher quantities under your own private label brand. So, really advantageous to visit some of these wholesale markets as well. Okay, so that's the website. Coming back to our slides over here. So we've got a special inaugural discount for our Türkiye sourcing trip. If you use the code Türkiye when signing up, we are offering a $300 discount, but this is only valid for 1 week. So this is only valid until September 10th. So you guys have to hurry and sign up on the website. Again, the website is turkeysourcingtrip.com, not turkeysourcingtrip.com. So turkeysourcingtrip.com. Go over here, check out all the information, and you can sign up right away if you want, or you can look into it a little bit more. You can even contact me. You can set up a call with us. You can send us an email at info@indiasourcingtrip.com. You can reach out to us on Messenger if you have any questions about the trip specifically. We can also do one-on-one calls with you guys. So turkeysourcingtrip.com. Crystal, how excited are you about this trip?
I'm honestly very excited for people to understand, there is a lot of comments, and we know that these pain points exist. A lot of people want to manufacture in Turkey, but they don't know how to communicate with suppliers, how to find suppliers. And that's why I think this is the perfect trip for anyone that just wants to understand how sourcing from Turkey actually works, and also to find products, whether you source them from private label manufacturers or these ready-made markets, which are absolutely wonderful. We'd love anyone and everyone to join us to discover how wonderful Turkey can be for you to manufacture your products. So I'm actually very excited.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's not much information, if any at all, available online or anywhere about sourcing in Turkey, right? Nowhere. So this trip is going to be probably like the very first, gateway into Turkey for regular people who don't really understand how it works. So it's going to be like a very unique and first of its kind experience for people who go on this maiden trip. All right, so let's also see some of the questions that people have. Okay, so Michelle was asking about the trade show. We've already addressed that. Is there a trade show or federation specific for cosmetics? Do you guys know this? Is there anything specifically for cosmetics?
There is.
Yes.
Go ahead,
There
Zainab.
is.
Yes, there is a trade show for cosmetics. It usually takes place in September and also in October, and it's in Istanbul and Kocaeli.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that also like export focused? Like they'll be able to find, export ready products over there at this trade show?
You can find both export ready or products that are ready to be sold locally. So you have local manufacturers and also experienced manufacturers and suppliers who have, experience with exporting these cosmetics abroad.
So I wouldn't say
Right.
it's like it is a mixture between a trade show and just a general consumer exhibition where customers can come in and find out more about potential products that they can purchase to use themselves or to sell in their stores in Turkey. So it's probably a mixture of both, but these trade shows tend to be quite big because cosmetics is an incredible industry in Turkey. And I'm sure Megla, during our last trade show, you saw how fantastic cosmetic products, they're like incredible, being manufactured here in Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much R&D that companies are doing over there to develop new formulations with, different functions, features, even perfumes. Like we saw so many beautiful like perfumes, and the bottles were really, high quality. Packaging suppliers, we saw so many packaging suppliers at the trade show, and they were very high quality packaging, eco-friendly, very, very kind of unique packaging. So packaging is also not going to be an issue when you're sourcing in Turkey because there are lots of options that are available over there.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, let's come to your questions. So Tony has a few concerns. First of all, he says it's difficult to find suppliers in Turkey. Yes, we understand that. And Furkan, I'm going to ask you to cover that. He says Chinese staff in companies are very efficient and business driven. You're right, Tony. There's no other country like China, unfortunately, or fortunately, we don't know. The language barrier is another problem. And one more comment from Tony is that he says, I buy steel products. I've sent several inquiries to Turkish companies, but no reply. So Furkan, can you explain this a little bit? Like, first of all, why are these companies not replying to Tony? And then secondly, why are they not responsive in general? Not to really pinpoint on Tony.
Yeah, I think it's not just only Tony. Yeah, so yeah, compared to China, I would say that Turkish manufacturers is a little bit, let's say, snobbish. I mean, in China, when you contact them, I mean, they take you their mailing list and they hunt your soul until you get a product from them. But in Turkey, it's not like that. So just sending an email to manufacturer, most of the times they don't take it seriously because they got a lot of emails, a lot of inquiries. So if they reply every one of them, I mean, it's a little it's a lot work for them. So they choose not to take seriously, if I put that correct. So if you get definitely get a reply. So I would like to tell you that you need to call them instead of email. It doesn't apply for all manufacturers, but most of them, if you call them, I mean, if you call by saying that, hey guys, I send you email this day, but nobody replied, so eventually they will reply. But just an email, most of the times won't work. For the business-driven and the language barrier and other questions, yeah, compared to China, language is not, I mean, it's like moderate, let's say. So it's better to have a translator to avoid any problem, any dark spots. So you need to also consider that. In addition to that, until you make an agreement with the Turkish manufacturer, it might be a problem. But after you make the agreement, they really, I mean, provide everything to make you satisfied. The problem is to get that level. When you have an agreement, when you place your order, rest is perfect. But reaching that steps compared to China might be a little bit difficult.
Right. And Furkan, do most suppliers have proper websites that are updated on a regular basis? Do they maintain their websites? Is it easy to find suppliers? Let's say if I just do a Google search to find suppliers, would I be able to find suppliers in Turkey?
Yeah, with a Google search, you definitely will have a list of suppliers, and most of them would be big ones. If you are looking for like a mid-class supplier, you might not find just searching from Google, or you might, let's say, work on your search a couple of days, a couple of keywords, etc. I mean, you need to work on it. But just a quick search, you can still reach many manufacturers, but most of them would big ones, so they might not address your needs.
Right. All right. So let's come to Michelle's questions. So first of all, how are communications with suppliers? Do they understand English well? How does the English compare to sourcing from China? Easier, same, more difficult? I think Furkan did address this. So it's like most suppliers would have somebody who speaks English, but then in some cases you would need a translator just to make sure things don't get lost in translation. So like when I visited the trade show, I was able to talk to most people, and some people had perfect English, others were struggling a bit, but I could understand most people. Like I did not need a translator as such. Like I could talk to most people very easily. So I don't think communication is going to be a big issue, Michelle, if you're sourcing directly. But definitely it helps to have, a sourcing agency or like a translator just to make sure that things don't get lost in translation.
I think, Megla, also one thing to understand from Michelle and Tony's comments is that when you're communicating with suppliers, if you're communicating using WeChat or you're in China, if you're communicating using WeChat or Alibaba, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person responding back to you has perfect English. They're just using a translator to understand you as well. So you get the responses in English and you think that they're understanding you. Unfortunately, in Turkey, there's no such thing. So if you're communicating with somebody in English, they have to be English speakers, especially if you're talking to them face to face, or you're talking to them on the phone, or sometimes in an email. They will have to understand the language in order to respond back to you. So it does not mean that, I don't find that Chinese people working at manufacturers are that fluent in English, but they have the tools in order to understand and to translate much easier than there are in other countries, such as Turkey.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. What kind of messaging app is most popular in Turkey? Is it WhatsApp, or is there another one that people generally use?
WhatsApp, definitely.
WhatsApp, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the most common app. Telegram is getting more popular as well, but so far WhatsApp is the most common one.
All right. Okay, so what are certain trade shows for textiles or home decor? So the trade show that we are going to be visiting, Prive Expo, it will definitely have textiles and home decor and cosmetics, a lot of other categories as well. Are there any other trade shows that you guys can recommend for Khan? for textiles?
If we are to speak about like trade shows that are export focused with big suppliers with heavy experience, then there are not so many in Turkey. Like this is a type of exhibition that was launched last year, actually, before there was not such trade shows. So it's something that will be developed. Maybe in the future we will have more trade shows, but until then, we will have to do your Google search.
Yeah.
Or just
Cool.
come to the trip, come to the sourcing trip, and then you'll find everything.
Yes.
Specifically,
Exactly.
specifically for anyone looking for textiles and home goods, going into these wholesale markets with ready-made products is quite interesting because, like you noted, Megla, you can, if you're in the e-commerce business, you want to launch products quickly, test them out on the market, and figure out whether or not they can be successful for you to focus a little bit more on them. At least that's the strategy that some sellers currently follow. So that could be something that would be very interesting for you to adopt if you go to the wholesale markets or if you go to Priv Expo, which is part of the Turkey sourcing trip.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, let's just see what other questions do we have. So what websites can you find manufacturers? So Furkan, you did mention this. There's Alibaba, right? What other websites are there?
Yeah, there is Alibaba, there is Ask Türkiye, asktürkiye.com. It's a government-provided website, so you can go there and you can search for manufacturer as like Alibaba.
Right. Can you recommend an inspection company? So let's talk about this as well. Like, how do inspections work in Türkiye? Like in China, India, there are, third-party inspection companies or sourcing agencies also manage inspection. So how does it work in Türkiye?
I will take that.
Or is that okay?
I will take that question. So basically, for inspection companies, it works with the same logic like inspection companies in China. So you can have them do it, whether remote inspection, on-site inspection, do a quality check. They would find, let's say, the list of defects. So basically, in terms of logistics or procedures, it's the same. But just you get to choose if you want them to go on-site or do you want them to do it remotely or do you want them to receive the samples at their office. So the services would vary at that level. But apart from that, they check the certifications, how qualified the supplier, the quality of your products, the safety also. They provide some safety reports for certain electronics. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. What kind of wood furniture do they specialize in?
From our past experience, some people would order pine, oak, and fir. But I'm sure there are a lot of wooden types that they specialize in. It's just not so common. Oak is the most common one in Turkey.
Yeah, and that's pretty expensive too. And I saw a lot of bamboo wood over there as well at the trade show. So that was pretty common. And there was this really nice brand. I think it was called Bambino or something. And it was very popular locally as well. And they had really beautiful bamboo, right? Something like that. Yeah. And it was because when we were going around the markets and all, I was seeing that brand in shops too. And they had a big stall at the trade show. And the products were so beautiful, really very, artistic, very unique. And they had this knife that was made out of wood. And it was like a proper functional knife. And I was like, are you sure this knife can, cut vegetables and fruits? And like, yeah, it's like a functional knife. So I found that very intriguing. Cool. Do they negotiate? Okay, yes. How does this work? Like, do they actually negotiate, or if they give you a price, then that's it? That's the final price. How does that work?
Yeah, most of the time they negotiate. Negotiation is a Turkish sport, I would say. Yeah,
so Joy of Life is a Turkish citizen, guys, remember. So you should know that Turks obviously love negotiation. So yeah.
Yeah, there will definitely be negotiation. I mean, you need to try your chance, definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, negotiation is always fun. feel such a sense of victory, right? After you negotiate and you get a good deal. So I'm sure this is going to be a very hot topic during our trip. We are going to be covering how to negotiate properly and the right way and when to negotiate. That is very important because you want to make sure that you're negotiating at the right time so that you have enough leverage. If you negotiate too early, they won't budge. If you negotiate too late, then you lose leverage. So it has to be at the right time. Negotiation is actually an art. And of course, it varies from country to country. So you may be very good at negotiating in China, but it doesn't work the same way in all countries. So Türkiye will be, very different. So I'm sure Furkan will have a lot of tips for us when we are at the trip during our information sessions about, how to negotiate. So that was a great question, Joy of Life. Tony Brown says, the gentleman understands. He has answered my question. I'm glad to hear that, Tony. All right. Can you please write the name of the website for suppliers from the government similar to Alibaba? What was the name of the website, Furkan?
Ask Türkiye.
S,
like
how do you...
AskTürkiye.com.
S as in just S?
Like ask.
Can you...
ASK.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ask Türkiye. Okay, asktürkiye.com. Got it. Yeah. asktürkiye.com. Yeah. So this is it. Cool. All right. So guys, let us know if you have more questions. How negotiable are MOQs? Yeah, that's a great question, Michelle.
Yeah, it's like that. I would say, for example, you want a t-shirt, let's say, and you want it private label, you design everything, and you want manufacturer to provide it only for you. So the manufacturer will say that I need to use at least, I'm just guessing the numbers, let's say at least 10 meters of the textile. And then from the 10 meters, I can produce, let's say, 2,000 units. And since I will be using that only for you, I will not be able to give you MOQ lower than 2,000, let's say. So it all depends how much raw material they will use only for you. That's the key part, actually, for the MOQ. It depends on color. I mean, if you want 3 colors, it means that they need to use, let's say, 10 meters per color. So MOQ might be a little bit higher. It all depends what you want and what will be their raw material to use only for you.
Got it. Geraldine is asking, what about the expo in December, 1st to 4th December, Souvenir Expo? Have you guys heard of this expo?
I did not hear of it.
No. So Geraldine, there are a lot of, smaller expos that are held in Turkey, and they may be very domestic focused and they may be only for consumers. So be very careful when you, if you do decide to visit any such expo, because you want to make sure that, first of all, the expo that you're visiting is business focused, is B2B, and also that there are, exporters over there. Because if they're only catering to the domestic market, or there may be overseas companies like, overseas brands that are exhibiting at the expos because they want to sell in the domestic market. So it's very common for a lot of these expos in different countries to be focused on the domestic market. And that's why we were very selective in the expo that we chose, because we wanted to make sure that it's export focused. And Private Expo is one of the few totally export focused expos in Turkey. Is this only for consumers? Will I find wholesalers there? Yeah, Geraldine, looks like it's not a very well-known expo and probably not business focused. So we're not really sure about it, but maybe you can dig a little deeper, into the expo. But otherwise, come to the trip and attend Private Expo. You're going to be finding a lot of good suppliers over there for gift items as well. Looks like you're looking for gift items or promotional items. So you are going to be finding gift items, home products. Crystal, what are the other categories that are going to be covered at the trade show? Cosmetics is a good one.
The trade show is going to be focused on almost everything because it is a trade show to showcase manufacturing in Turkey and focused on exporting, just like you rightfully explained. They're also going to be focused on cosmetics, like you said. Pet supplies and pet products is also a huge category that they're going to be focused on, and all of the products that we talked about, such as textile, homeware products. And you're going to find really medium to large size manufacturers, which means if you find one manufacturer, they don't just manufacture one product, they obviously manufacture a whole range of products. So you can select from the products that they're manufacturing, or you can even also, if you want, just completely private label a product under your requirements as well.
Right. Joy of Life is asking, where are wholesale markets mainly in Istanbul? I have seen Eminono, one in Europe side.
It's in Halic, in the European side, yes.
Okay. Where will Expo Trade show? Which area?
In Istanbul.
Yes,
guess
in Istanbul. We are just like responded that, yeah. It's in Halic, Istanbul.
No, the
okay.
expo, the expo. Where's the expo?
Private.
The Priv Expo.
Yeah,
private.
Yes. It's in Halic.
Yeah.
Okay, Priv Expo is there too. Okay, cool. How safe is it to travel in Turkey, Istanbul?
Well, I'm a living proof. I'm alive, safe and sound. So that's how safe it is. No,
yeah.
like,
and I mean,
it's safe, yeah.
Yeah, it's safe. And like any city, there are certain areas that you would not go to, or, you would probably not travel alone at night if you are, especially if you're a woman, I think just to be safe. But otherwise, when I was there, I felt pretty safe. There's Uber over there. So if you're not very comfortable using the local taxis, then you can definitely take Uber. That's definitely, safer, and it's trackable. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't feel anything. But I mean, Michelle, come with a trip. That's one of the biggest advantages of traveling as a group, that you feel safe, especially as a woman, wherever you're traveling. I think like being in a group is much better, because you've got, you're safe, basically. You're with other people, and we're taking care of you. Joy of Life is safe and wonderful. Yes. Oh, guys, what we didn't talk about, the food. How can we not talk about the food? Oh my God, the food is just to die for. I would go back to Turkey just for the food, like the kebabs and all of the different baklava. I'm not pronouncing it correctly, of course. And,
no, you're pronouncing it right. Yeah.
I did? Okay, cool. The food is absolutely amazing. And Zainab and Furkan, they are helping us select each of the restaurants that we're going to be going to, and also the type of food that we're going to be eating. So you'll have like a selection of all the different types of cuisines, the sweets, the vegetarian, and we can also take care of your dietary restrictions. For example, of course, if you're, halal, or if you need any, if you can't eat dairy, for example, or drink dairy, or, dairy products, we're going to take care of that as well. If you're vegan, we can take care of that. So any dietary restrictions, not a problem. We can take care of that as well. But yeah, the food is absolutely amazing. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was Bursa. So Bursa is basically a city that is a production hub for home textiles. And of course, home textiles is a big category from Turkey. So there's bed sheets and other types of bed linen, plus towels, beautiful bathrobes, all of those different types of things. And Bursa is the production hub for these types of products. Of course, there are factories in Istanbul as well. And we are not going to be going to Bursa specifically. However, if somebody is interested and they want to extend the trip and go to Bursa or go to another production hub, we can help organize that as well. I mean, you go on your own, it would of course be an extra cost, but then that's something that we could organize, right? Zainab and Furkan, we could help people do that if they wanted to, right?
So basically, for this trip, it's only for Istanbul focused, but based on the number of demands and based on the majority, if we have a high demand for textiles or towels, then we might extend the trip to Bursa. But again, for the tentative itinerary, this is not confirmed yet. This is yet to be confirmed in the future.
No, but if somebody wants to go on their own, they can do that. They can do that on their own. We can guide them. Yeah, we can guide them on, we can support them. And if they want to go on their own, that's an option as well. On your own, you can extend the trip and you can do that. What was the production hub for carpets? Because I know Michelle is also interested in rugs and carpets. So there was another city, I'm forgetting the name, for carpets. What's the name for that?
Are you referring to Kocaeli?
Kocaeli, probably, yeah. Kocaeli. I can't recollect.
So there's Kocaeli, Izmir, but also you can find silk carpets in Bursa. Made of silk threads. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Turkish carpets and rugs are just so beautiful. And in fact, a lot of them are being imported into India, which is quite interesting because India also makes rugs and carpets. But domestically, Turkish carpets and Turkish towels also are very popular over here. Seems like it is a shorter than the India trip. How do they differ? Yes, Michelle. So this is a shorter trip and it's also cheaper, of course, than the India trip. So the way that they differ is, first of all, the trade show that we're visiting in Turkey is much smaller than the India trade show. The India trade show has about 3,500, 4,000 exhibitors. So we spend 3 days at the trade show, and even like 4 or some people also come back for the 5th day. The whole trade show is for 5 days, but generally 3 to 4 days is enough for the trade show. But it's a huge trade show, so we spend a lot of time over there. And we don't necessarily do factory tours during the main trip, but factory tours for the India trip are actually an extension and an optional additional, few days to the main trip. So that's one big difference. Whereas for Turkey sourcing trip, the trade show that we're attending is smaller, so we'll be able to finish it in 1.5 days. And we're going to focus more on factory tours and, of course, information sessions and learning more about sourcing in Turkey. So that's one of the key differences between the two trips, Michelle. And the India trip, if you include factory tours, is like 10 days. But the Turkey trip is 5 days. And you can, if you want, you can extend the trip and go to Bursa or other cities as well on your own. That's an option too. So Geraldine says, that's what I've been thinking, hence not gone yet. Prime Expo would be great, but not this year as I can't get away. Sure, next year. So we are hopefully going to be doing this trip every year, at least once a year. Okay, Michelle, what is the main seaport? Furkan, did you cover the main seaport?
Yeah. It's in Istanbul. There are, in the Marmara area, I would say, 2 in Istanbul, 1 in close to Bursa. It's Ambarlı Port, and there is Haydarpaşa Port. And also there is another port in Izmir. It's very close to the Greece. And there is another port in the south, Mersin Port, and there is one more port in the north. It's Sinop. It's close to the Russia side.
Okay, so depending on where you have to ship the product, you can basically choose the port, right?
Yeah, Turkey is like a half island, so we have many ports. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Joy of Life, I guess he wants to export from Turkey. So he's asking, do we need to have anything, business registration? CR, what's CR? I'm not sure about that. To export from their legal requirements.
Commercial registration, which is like a business
license.
Sorry, what? Commercial registration, CR. That's also a term that we use in Saudi. So probably because Joy of Life lives there. So Furkan, would you require to have a business license to export from Turkey?
Actually, for every product, you need to be joining to a union in Turkey. For example, you are a textile exporter, you need to be in a textile exporter union, etc. But it's not something that the buyer should be busy with. So it's its own manufacturer. So if they can export the product, I mean, it means that they have everything in place.
Yeah, but you as a person that's manufacturing in Turkey, and you want to, let's say I'm manufacturing in Turkey and I want to ship the goods over to Dubai. Do I need to have a business license in Turkey in order to ship the products to Dubai where I'll ultimately sell them?
No. Yeah, you just need to have a company in the target market. That's all.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect.
Cool. So, yeah, guys, I mean, we've got a lot of questions that were submitted from, by the people who registered for the webinar. But of course, we are running out of time. We're already run out of time, in fact. So we should start wrapping up over here. But in case you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us on LinkedIn or, Facebook, or send us an email. And we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And, quick reminder that the special discount of $300 is only valid until September 10th. So do make sure that you take advantage of this discount. This is a very, very cost-effective trip. And we have tried to, make sure that we offer you a very jam-packed itinerary so that you get all the information that you need, you meet a lot of suppliers, and you can get started sourcing in Turkey immediately as soon as you finish the trip. So definitely look into it. Go to turkeysourcingtrip.com, and we look forward to seeing you there. So guys, as we wrap up, any final thoughts from anybody over here? Crystal?
From my end, I would just like to say, just to clarify, that the Turkey sourcing trip is something that you would be guided during the trip. You would be supported by us, and we'd be there to help and support you figure out how to manufacture your products in Turkey, in Turkey. So that's why we're very excited to meet you and to spend these 5 jam-packed days with you, hopefully.
Cool. Zainab?
Yeah.
Well, first, I would like to thank everyone. Thank you for interacting with us. It was really a pleasure, and we can't wait to have you, with us in Istanbul on an amazing, informative sourcing trip where you can, network, learn, and earn. So learn all knowledge and earn knowledge. So yeah, of course. So
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Network, learn, and earn. That's awesome.
Copyrights, Megla. Okay.
Yeah, do that. Cool. Furkan, any parting words?
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone for their contribution. There were really nice questions. I was really having pleasure to answer them all. So if we meet in Istanbul for the trip, I would like to explain more about sourcing. Yeah.
Awesome. Marg?
Yeah, look, I think just come on the trip. I think if you try and do this on your own, you're going to spend half your week working out how you're going to get there, where you're going, have problems with your language, or even, going to a restaurant if you've got any, issues with your diet, trying to tell people what you want. So I think if you've got experts with you every step of the way, from the minute you virtually come down to breakfast till you go to bed at night, you will always have, people with you and guidance. And I think trying to do a trip by yourself in a country that you don't know can be a lot more difficult, and you're going to waste half your time there just doing that. And even at the fair, because you've got people who can speak the language, you're quids in as well, because you're not trying to, if you get stuck with the supply, when you do walk away and go, I can't deal with this, I'll have to find someone who can speak English. So I think being part of the trip and having everyone who knows what they're doing in Turkey is the benefit.
Awesome. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Crystal, Zainab, Furkan, Marg. Thanks for being here. And guys, we really look forward to seeing you in Turkey. Go to turkeysourcingtrip.com to get your ticket. And remember, sign up before September 10th. That's 1 week from now. And use the code Türkiye, Turkiye. Don't forget to use the code for your $300 discount. We look forward to seeing you in Türkiye. Have a good night or good day. Thanks a lot for joining us. Bye.